Hello to life forms throughout the universe. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. In just moments, the first round of the FZero Night League will be starting at Mute City. Hey everyone, it's Stellarnan. For my second craft in my SNES Classic Craft series, I'll be making a mini Blue Falcon car inspired by the iconic racing machine from FZero. The driver of the Blue Falcon is the famous bounty hunter, Captain Falcon. You've probably seen cameos of his racing machine in Smash Bros. Or Mario Kart. In the original Super Nintendo game, his racing machine's number was 111, but in later games it was changed to number 7. For this craft, I'll be using 111 as a tribute to the original game. For this craft, you'll need the printed pattern, a wooden car base, Crayola Model Magic clay in white, scrap foam that can amount to 8 3/4 inch by 3/8 inch strips. Your choice of flashcard, cardstock, or poster board that can amount to 2 2.5 by 1 3/4 inch rectangles, some small paintbrushes and a cup of water for them, Mod Podge and super glue, scissors, a pencil, 7 paint colors that closely match and/or can be mixed together to make the following colors: green, blue, gray, black, white, yellow, and pink. If you can, focus on getting more white and blue paint. Something to protect your work surface from paint, and some protective finishing spray. First, glue the craft foam strips together in stacks of 2, turning the 8 strips into 4. Having a double layer of craft foam will make it more sturdy when attaching the back fins later on. Next, coat the strips with Mod Podge. Foam is porous, so it's better to seal it first than to deal with paint getting absorbed like a sponge. Afterwards, set the foam strips aside. On to the back fins. Cut out your choice of either the set of fully colored fins or the set of fins that you can fill in the paint yourself. If you choose the latter set of fins, be sure to hold off painting them for a few more steps. Using Mod Podge, coat the back of the fins and place them onto the rectangular cards. Next, trim them down to size. Using super glue, carefully glue the foam strips flush to the bottom edge of your fins at a 90-degree angle, leaving room in the center for the wheel. Repeat this step for the other fin. Carefully attach the fins to your car by gluing the other side of the foam at a 90-degree angle flush to the bottom edge of the car. Next up is fun with some air dry clay. The initial design of the Blue Falcon had more of a bubble window over the cockpit. With the help of some clay, I'll add that shape onto the wooden car base. Refer to the printed pattern for a suggestion on how exaggerated to make the window. With the car assembled, now it's time to start painting. First, add a base coat of white paint over the entire wooden car base, air dry clay, and foam. But do not paint the white base coat on the back fins. Wait for the paint to fully dry, then add a second base coat, or simply touch up any areas where the wood still shows through. After the second base coat is finished drying, lightly sketch in the final details for the front half of the car with a pencil, using the printed pattern as a guide. Now it's time to add some color. I would recommend painting the lighter colors first because it's harder to lighten an area that's already dark, which is why I started with the white base coat to begin with. The color palette in this craft more closely resembles the in-game sprites rather than the official artwork, which is darker and more muted. With FZero on the SNES being the first game in its franchise, I found the sprites color palette was very vibrant, bold, and striking, much like the game itself. As a launch title accompanying the likes of Super Mario World, FZero was a great initial showcase for what the Super Nintendo's graphics in Mode 7 could do. The faux 3D effects were really impressive for its time. For the Super Famicom's initial launch in Japan, there were only Super Mario World and FZero. For the US launch, just under a year later, we additionally had Gradius 3, Pilot Wings, and SimCity. The biggest downside to the game is that unfortunately it's only one player. Super Mario Kart was definitely the superior racing game for the Super Nintendo, but more on that on a later episode. So what's your favorite racing game? Diddy Kong Racing? Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing? Personally, I definitely love Mario Kart the best. Probably a cliche answer, but I like what I like. If you chose to use the set of back fins that you can paint yourself, you can optionally go over the black outlines with black paint, or simply keep the printer ink. I personally chose to go over the outlines with black paint because I felt it makes it pop out more. One last detail to add is on the back. Using a pencil, dip the eraser end into yellow paint and stamp 4 circles onto your car to represent the exhaust pipes. Now we need to seal it with protective sealing spray. When you spray, be sure to do it in a well-ventilated area and cover the entire project. Always be sure to pick a sealing spray that works with the materials your craft is made out of, and read the directions on the label. And here's the finished craft. Can you dominate all 3 leagues? Thank you for checking out my video. If you enjoyed it and want to support me, join the Stellar fam by subscribing to my channel. Stay stellar!